Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this video, I will not be doing a roof rack installation guide. There's plenty of those videos for the Sherpa Roof Rack, so instead I'm going to cover things you should know before purchase and installation. So for the first tip, based on the Sherpa website, the cost of the fully powder coated Crestone rack, which is the rack I got for my Forerunner, is about $1,400. But I actually purchased mine for $1,190. That's a $210 saving. So how did I do this? Just wait for holiday sales. I think I purchased mine during a Labor Day sale of this year. And what does Labor Day have to do with roof racks? Who knows? But it gives companies like Forerunner Lifestyle and also Yoda Mafia an excuse to give items a discount. Both of those retailers sell Sherpa roof racks, and they also have holiday sales all the time. So just wait for your next holiday weekend and you could save about $200 just like I did. Now here's the second tip. You will need to use Loctite on the bolts that install into the roof. Loctite is basically like super glue for hardware to ensure things don't loosen over vibrations and over time. In fact, when you actually remove the OEM roof rack, you will find that Toyota uses red Loctite on those bolts. So if Toyota uses Loctite, you should too. But here's what you need to know. Sherpa sends you a small sample of blue Loctite, and it's plenty for the entire job. So don't worry about going to Home Depot or Ace Hardware and purchasing Loctite prior to installation. Sherpa will hook you up with what you need. Now for the third tip. What you are looking at here is one of the 8 bolts that install into the Forerunner's roof, along with its rubber washer. This is not the exact hardware from Sherpa because when I realized I wanted to show this trick, I already had the roof rack installed. But the hardware is basically the same, so let's just go with it. Prior to installation, you have to make sure the rubber washer is at the top of the bolt. But the rubber washer from Sherpa has an extremely tight fit against the bolt's threads. So you have to manually turn the bolt against the rubber washer, and it takes forever to get that washer to the top. And it also kind of bites into your skin, so it's into your fingers, so it's really hard to do. So instead, just be smart with it. I turned the washer just enough so there's room for a power drill to clamp to the bolt. When you get the power drill clamped to that bolt, just slowly power the drill, turn that bolt, hold the washer in place, and let the drill do the work for you. This trick was honestly super helpful because there's 8 bolts you have to prep, and this made everything so much quicker and easier. Now for the fourth one. Here's some footage of the majority of the screws you will be dealing with. There's maybe about 40 of these, and Sherpa recommends hand tightening with an Allen wrench. Now I get it. They say hand tighten because you don't want to strip your screws. But power drills these days have adjustable torque settings, and they are also a variable speed setting based on how hard you press down on the power drill's button. So look, just be careful, save yourself some time, get an Allen wrench drill bit that fits your power drill, and just be careful with the screws and use your power drill for the screws. It makes everything so much easier. You're going to thank me. Finally, number 5, towards the end of the installation, you will fully tighten down the bolts into your roof. Now, those bolts go through a pretty thick rubber block that is designed to, one, absorb impact against your roof, but also it waterproofs the OEM holes from the original roof rack so you don't have water leaking into your roof. Now, when you watch installation guides, they tell you if you over tighten those bolts, you could actually clamp the rubber blocks enough so now that there's not a good enough water seal against your roof rack, which means water can get in and start a leak into your roof. So the recommendation from some of these installation videos has been to keep tightening the bolt until you see the metal side of the rubber washer start to slightly turn with the bolt. When that happens, that means that you have tightened enough. Here's one problem with that trick that they recommend. If you are working under good enough light and these washers are clean, which they are clean because they just sent it to you, it actually can be kind of hard to see when those washers start to turn because of how reflective they are. So based off of what I'm showing you here on this video, here's something you could do. Just mark one side of that washer with a Sharpie. And now it will become very obvious when the turn starts to happen because the black line will start to turn. Now you won't have to second guess yourself if the bolt is under tightened or over tightened. You'll be sure that you have done this part of the installation correctly. So that's all the tips I have. If this has helped you in any way during your installation, please comment on how it helped you below. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.